It is now game over for this vlog. I don't know what to do about this video anymore. No, you didn't! So this week I'm doing something that may be potentially exciting for you guys. As you guys can tell from the thumbnail and the title, this is the next installment in my series in a week vlog series where, as you guessed it, I read a series in a week. This week we're doing a big nostalgia series for a lot of people, which is the Old Kingdom series by Garth Nix. Now this is a very beloved series, a series I've heard great things about, but it is a series that I missed out on at the time that this was popular, and I've just been flicking through the back of Sabriel and I completely forgot that the it was Lirael, I think. I completely forgot that the Mr. Monday series was written by Garth Nix. Did he ever finish that? One of my family members was reading this at one point and she was loving it like way more than I was, but I don't think she finished the series because she had to wait for like the newest release. But that is just something that completely escaped my brain and has just re-entered. But yeah, I'm really excited to give these a go because I actually missed out on them when I was the age to read these, because I think they look very masculine. I think like this looks like a book series for boys. So I had no idea that the main character of this series is actually a girl, like Sabriel is a girl. I know that now in 2022, I don't care if a book is for boys. Like if we talk about aesthetics of the genre, like a lot of adult high and epic fantasy is more masculine presenting and like tailored towards men, like that's a demographic that traditionally fantasy has been aimed at, and that's not something I care about these days. Like if something looks masculine, I'm not going to not pick it up. But when I was a teenage girl, I was obviously more susceptible to marketing and I was definitely drawn towards books and series that looked like they were for girls, and this was just not it, which is sad because I actually think I would have really enjoyed this if I'd have picked it up. There is a series that I actually really want to reread that is the Extravaganza series that puts me very much in mind of these because of like, I think they were around at the same time, and I did actually read the Extravaganza series and remember it being like mind-blowing. It's about time travel and it has like Venice in it, but like old Venice, and I had a really good time with that series. So I don't have the first book or any of the books, but that is something that I would really like to reread. And because I enjoyed like that series so much, I feel like this is going to be kind of along the same lines. So I feel like there is great potential for me to enjoy this, and I know that this is a lot of people's favorite series. So I'm aiming to read all of these in a week. Book 1 is Sabriel, 2 is Lirael. This is the only one that I'm worried about. It's like 520 pages, whereas Book 1 and Abortion Book 3 are only just over 300 pages each. I actually don't know very much about this series. I know that there are more books in this series that have been published more recently, but this is the core trilogy. I think that there are multiple main characters that you follow throughout, so not every book follows Sabriel. And I think that Sabriel is about a girl who lives in this walled city or like area, and there's a lot of free magic outside, and her father is a mage and I think her father is a bosun, and something happens to him which means that she has to then travel outside of this like safe community to find her father. That is literally all I know about it. I have just scanned through the first page as well. Based on the writing style, I'm really excited to get into this. I think it is YA, I think, but because of when it was published, I think it's very different YA to what we read now, and I think that this might be, based on the writing style, a little bit of a nostalgia kick for me. So we'll see how it goes. These were all also a gift from Sealy, who has read the series and didn't want it anymore. So thank you very much to Sealy for that, because it means that I got the whole trilogy to binge through, and yeah, I'm expecting good things. So aside from this, I am also prepping for the Bookopolis merch drop, which today's Wednesday, it's happening on Friday. So my plan for the afternoon is to make a thumbnail for last week's vlog, which will only take me about half an hour, and then I'm going to start on making the candles because the mugs and the coasters are made to order. Curtis makes those, and the bookmarks, fingers crossed, there's nothing I can do about those because I don't make those, I just order them, and they hopefully should be with me before Friday. So my task is to make as many candles as possible over the next couple of days and then sort out all of the like photographs and the listings on the website for that stuff before 7 p.m. on Friday. Going in here then. We're finally ripping up this ugly carpet. Yes we are, and you're helping. Hey, stop eating it. Oh, is she still helping?
till I'm inside your mind, my dear. Terrified of getting over you. You always let me know. You always let me go my way.
Good evening. I am on my way to bed in a moment because it is just past midnight, but I'm just here to say pretty much that it is now game over for this vlog because I had my very first ever therapy appointment this morning. It was very much just kind of like an assessment kind of appointment, but when I woke up I was obviously quite nervous and anxious about it, so I didn't have a great start to my day, and my appointment was actually in the morning. So after that, Curtis said like, oh, do you want to go out today and do something while you're not feeling too great? So obviously distraction is key, so I said yes, and we spent just a few hours in York, got some lunch, had a walk around, but Curtis, the sweet little soul that he is, also treated me to Elden Ring, which I've started playing this morning, but honestly like the character creation is so in depth that I spent like 90 minutes doing that and working my way through a tutorial, so I'm definitely gonna want to play again tomorrow, which, as I'm trying to read this entire series in a week, it's not really gonna go too well, is it? So I'm on page 130 of this, so I've read like 37 pages this morning, and that is it. So we'll see how I do, but I'm not feeling especially hopeful right now. Hey, yeah. So I'm 272 pages into Sabriel by Garth Nix. I don't know what to do about this video anymore. Okay, right, so this is it's a young adult, and it is about this young woman, she's 18, called Sabriel, who lives in this walled city at a boarding school that her father has put her into to protect her just generally, but she's a necromancer and he's a necromancer, but they're like the good type of necromancers where instead of raising the dead, their job is to put the dead back to rest and to stop them from like terrorizing the regular old normal people. So Sabriel is in this boarding school and she gets a message from her father, or a package from her father, that has all of his equipment in. So like his robe, his sword, his bells that he uses to communicate with the dead. And this generally means that she now has to take up his role as a bosun. So a bosun is actually a title, not a name. So she's very confused by this and doesn't know what's happened to her father. She doesn't feel like her father's dead. So she sets off across the old kingdom to discover what happened to him. So the first place she visits is his house, where she picks up his cat, who is actually like some sort of being that's been trapped in the form of a cat. And then along the way, like, she does meet other people and visits like a whole ton of places. It's kind of like an adventure story where the point is that she's going to find her father, and along the way certain events happen. I'm really struggling to read this physically with my eyes. I'm taking like half an hour to read 10 pages because I just don't like the writing style in this book. There were elements of it that I was enjoying, like at the beginning I really liked the school setting that Sabriel was in before she set off across the world, and I do like the audiobook of this. I feel like I am getting a better experience from the audiobook, but at the same time I don't really like the narration. The guy has a really, it's Tim Curry, who did the series Unfortunate Events audios, which I think I've listened to like the first 8 or so of those. But before I was self-employed and I had an office job, I was just listening to that series to help pass the time. So it's Tim Curry, and I have enjoyed audio narration from him before, but he has a really nasal voice for Sabriel. I also hate the voice that he has for Mogget. So the audio is helping me out with the writing style and making it more compelling in that aspect, but then I don't like the narration. I think that the crux of it is because I've been going through it thinking like, why aren't you enjoying, like, why don't you care at all? There are elements that I do care about, like Mogget has been trapped inside the body of a cat, and then she also ends up with another companion who has essentially been out of the loop for the last few hundred years, and there are events that happened historically that are kind of like foreshadowing the events that happen now, like result of a chain reaction. So I'm interested in the stuff that went down in the history that kind of caused what's going on now. But this book is ultimately reminded me a lot of books that I don't like. So I can see a little bit of Earthsea in here, which is a series that I did not enjoy. Also the Tower of Babel book, what's that called? Sinlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. It's reminding me of that with the kind of tone of the writing, and also how the narrative is like a series of events. And oh god, what's the other one? The first Demon Cycle book by Peter Vibra, is it the Painted Man? It's giving me those vibes as well. Once again, I think with the way that the story's being told, and also I think the magic system in here, I like the way that the necromancy works, in that Sabriel uses these bells to do certain things regarding the dead. But I just really, I'm not having a good time. And normally, like, if I wasn't having a great time, I'd be like, yeah, sure, like, we'll persevere at least through book 2. We'll see what's happening with this series, because this is a well-loved series. But I feel now listening to this audiobook the same way I felt when I was listening to the last audiobook when I did the selection series, where like it's grating on my nerves because I'm not having a good time with this book. And I'm devastated because I really thought that I was going to enjoy this. I've kind of had this on a pedestal for so long, and I think that I imagine the story to be different. I understand from the writing style why I definitely got masculine vibes from this as well, but this is just, it's proving to be very different than I thought it was going to be. And I'm really disappointed. I'm really upset, and I'm doing that thing again where it's like, Becca, come on, just DNF the series. Like, you don't want to. I'm definitely going to finish this book because I need it for Magical Readathon, and I am on page 272, so I have like 90 pages left, which is like an hour of the audio, so I'm not DNFing it in terms of like the first book. But like I'm doing the thing where I want to continue because I want to enjoy the series, but if I do continue, it would only because I want to enjoy the series, not because I actually do. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm currently about to start sorting out the listings for I'm having a bit of a stressful day where I feel overwhelmed by everything I have to do, even though it's not too much. It's just little bits of stuff that don't take up too much time. So like the amount of things I have to do seems overwhelming, but in reality, like, it doesn't take up as much time as you'd think it would. But yeah, I have to sort out the listings for the Bookathon merch. The bookmarks haven't arrived. Still experiencing delays with that, but they will definitely be with me next week. I have requested another update, but they were supposed to be getting whatever was broken fixed this week. So because it was a priority order, I don't imagine it taking much longer. But it's just annoying because now I have to kind of put everything up without a photo of the bookmark, and then I'm gonna have to come back in at a later date when I do have the products and I can take a photo to swap that out. But my aim at the minute is to finish this tonight. Like I said, only around an hour left in audio, so it shouldn't be too hard. And then I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this video. Do we just turn this into a regular weekly reading vlog and refilm the intro? Do we just never post this vlog and start a new one? I really don't know.
No wonder home when I sleep. Put me out on our couch, throw me in the doghouse. Feel like we're stuck on a leash. Barely left the ground floor. I should be getting out more. The way that things are going, all the cracks have started showing. Girl, it feels like we've been growing apart. But what if there was something I could give you that would jump in and fill every hole I made in your heart? Maybe we should get a dog. Do some cute shit in the park when we get depressed. Make him wear some Saint Laurent. Yeah, take some pics and put them all on the internet. Yeah, I know things haven't hard, so let's make a new start with a four-legged therapist, and all our problems will be gone. Yeah, maybe we should get a dog. Nothing is easy to fix, but baby girl, the fact is we need a distraction. And I know you're so tired of my tricks, so let's throw something new in the mix. Maybe we should get a dog. Do some cute shit in the park when we get depressed. Make him wear some Saint Laurent. Yeah, take some pics and put them all on the internet. Yeah, I know
have a lot of things that I need to tell you guys. I spent most of the day rushing to edit a video, the video that I filmed last week that I said I had like an hour and a half, 2 hours of footage for. I decided that I was going to give myself 7 hours to edit that and get it up. So I spent all of my day kind of racing against the clock to do that, whilst at the same time only being able to work like around Bree's naps. So that is what I've been doing. But yeah, I have quite a few things that I want to tell you guys. But first, this arrived today and I don't know what it is. It feels like a book, but it feels like a heavy one, so I'm real intrigued. It's probably from Ash, let's be real. It's always from Ash. No, you didn't! Is it Ash? She sent me Magnolia Parks. Oh my god, no. No! Ash! Ash, why? Right. This book, I've decided that this book can only disappoint me because I've decided in my brain, which is where I decide things, that this is gonna be so good. This book looks like the 70s threw up on it. It looks like a children's book from the 60s or 70s until like you actually look closely at it. And we also have like these Polaroid type photos on the back. The back says how many loves do you get in a lifetime. That's all it says. I saw this on somebody's channel a couple of weeks ago. They did a reading vlog and it's a new channel that I've only subscribed to recently. So I'm just, can I find out who it is? Locke's Library. So I will link them down in my description box as I do everybody I mention, but they did a vlog and they said that it's like an unconventional romance, which pretty much means that it doesn't have to end with a happily ever after. And that, as somebody who loves angst and drama and romances, something that always kind of bugs me. And I get why it's a thing because you always have the safety net, like you always know it's going to be a happily ever after. But my favorite movies are 500 Days of Summer, they're Moulin Rouge, and sometimes I want to be destroyed, sometimes I want to be upset. And so this really, really excites me. And I've heard like it's spreading like wildfire. Everybody's reading it now and I desperately, desperately want to read it. So thank you so much, Ash. Honestly, oh my god, I'm thrilled. You made my day. But the note with this says, you want more Gigi in your life. I'm not sure how you will like this because it is set in the UK. Let me know when you pick this up. Oh, and if you like it, because I'll send more from Ash. Ash, you don't need to. Thank you so much. I'm so desperate to read this. I actually just replied to Cara, channel once again linked in the description box, who has just done a reading vlog on this and say that it's like a Taylor Swift book or something. And I was like, as if I wasn't already desperate to read this. Okay, so the title of the video is Magnolia Parks has read Taylor's version in a book. So I don't need to hear anymore. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Moving on to the things that I have to tell you. I've had a little bit of a change of heart. I finished Sabriel and I still didn't like it very much, but I did give it a very low 3 stars as opposed to like a 2, because with this I very much acknowledged that it's not bad. I see why so many people like it, but it reminds me of a lot of things that I really don't like. Like I said, the Earthsea series, the Demon Cycle, also reminds me a little bit of Neil Gaiman, and the 2 Neil Gaiman books I've read I don't actually like. And I have been told that I pick bad Neil Gaiman books apparently, but just with the writing style and the magic system, it's just reminded me of a lot of things that I really don't like. So yeah, it's not bad, it's just really not for me. And I think one of the main things that I disliked about this was actually the magic system with the bells and the charter marks. That being said, while I finished this and didn't love the ending of it, although some elements I did really like, I then decided, my plan was to give myself until the end of today to decide what I wanted to do about this series and this vlog. So with that in mind, I started Lirael last night and I'm actually 112 pages into it and I'm liking it a lot more. I actually think that the audiobook narrator was doing a lot to make me dislike Sabriel. There are things about it that I just generally don't love, but I don't think the audiobook was helping, which is really sad because what I have to do for the next week is essentially I've got 140 orders outstanding. So my plans for the next week of work are to edit this vlog and post it at some point, film and edit an unboxing, doesn't take too long, and then the rest of the week I'm just going to be frantically packing orders, which once I've printed all of the postage labels, gathered everything around me, that is something that I can very much do while listening to an audiobook, but I'm not going to have one because the audiobooks for this series are making me not like it very much. So one of the reasons why I decided to kind of persevere and give book 2 a try is because this follows a different character. And I knew going into this series that there were 6 books and the latter 3 were published like later than these first 3 that I'm reading in this video. But what I didn't realize is that this was actually published 5 years after Sabriel was. I also knew that we had different like main characters throughout here, but I didn't really know what the pattern was going to be. And this one is actually following a different character called Lirael. So This is set, I think, is it 14 years after this one? Sabriel's 18 in this one. And I think I worked out that Sabriel would be 32 at the beginning of this. And it is following a girl who is one of the Claire, which are essentially the seers of the world, and she is in this place where the Claire all live, and we start on her 14th birthday, and she's been waiting and waiting for the sight to awaken in her, and it still hasn't happened. So she thinks that it's never gonna happen for her and that she really doesn't fit in this society. Massive content warnings for suicidal thoughts in here, because this is set up with the main character wanting to kill herself because she doesn't fit in, and she's very much like thinking about it, plans out what she's gonna do, and it's when she's about to do it that her thoughts are kind of derailed. Now, I don't really like that that is the setup for this book, because the way that she flip-flops between wanting to do it and not wanting to do it is very much kind of like on a whim, and it kind of, to me, it kind of trivializing suicide and suicidal thoughts as something that like teenagers want to do it at like the drop of a hat kind of thing. So massive content warnings for that. But when she's about to follow through on this, she's met by a couple of people, and she actually tells them that she's been feeling like shit, and they say that they actually came into their powers a little bit later than everybody else did, and to help them out while they were waiting, they actually got a job within the society to kind of pass the time and make them feel valuable. So Lirael starts to work in the library at the Claire, I think it's called the Claire Glacier. One day when everybody else is doing important things regarding like the site that they have, Lirael is left alone, and she goes into some of the forbidden sections of the library and releases a monster. So as far as I can tell right now, the plot of this book is going to be Lirael trying to restrain the monster or kill the monster before it hurts anybody else. So I am enjoying this one quite a bit more than Sabriel right now. So at the minute, this vlog is still on. I'm also, dare I say, in a little bit better of a mood than I was a few days ago, which may help. But yeah, I know that the third book of Borson, I think, is about Sabriel again. So I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about that one, but it is, like, I think it's the shortest one of the trilogy, so I'm sure I can make it through, providing that I continue to enjoy Lirael.
You always let me know. You never let it show
So, a spoiler alert for next week's vlog. I have very different coloured hair now than I did in the last clip that you saw from me, but it's Friday now and I'm actually editing this vlog, and I have just realised that I deleted the outro clip that I filmed for this vlog on Monday night because I DNF'd Lirael. I DNF'd the entire series. I couldn't do it anymore, and at this point, like, I can't really remember, because I don't dwell on things that I don't like, especially when it's like this, and it's not bad, it's just I don't like it. So if I don't like something, it kind of just leaves my mind real quick. I don't have a bookmark in this, so I can't even tell you guys how far in I made it, but I think it was around like the page 170 or 180 mark. I was close to the 200 page mark, if not just over it, and I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. So the point where I was up to the last time I updated you guys, I was very much enjoying this book, and then pretty much since that point, like, all the enjoyment just went out the window, and it was the same kind of thing as Sabriel that I just didn't care about, was like all of those things that I don't like, and I really just didn't want to continue. So I have DNF'd, which I'm disappointed about. I'm disappointed because obviously, like, I promised you guys a video that I've not been able to deliver, and I mainly feel bad for the people who are kind of clicking on this video looking for my thoughts on this series but aren't really going to get them, because when I'm so ambivalent about something, because I don't even dislike it to the point where it's entertaining, I'm just really ambivalent and not having a good time. So it's not even like entertaining content that I'm giving you, and it's also not really anything of substance when I don't really have any thoughts because I haven't finished the books. But ultimately, I know that you guys don't want to see me force my way through a series that I'm really not enjoying, so I know that you guys are obviously going to be cheering on the DNF, and mostly I'm disappointed because I wanted to like this series. I thought that I was missing out on a masterpiece. piece, especially with Sabriel just having gotten a fancy Illumicrate edition. Like, it's clearly a series that is beloved by so many people, but those people just truly aren't me, because I really just do not like this series at all. It does have its merits. It has an interesting magic system, even though it's one that I don't like. It reminds me a little bit of Howl's Moving Castle in the way that the walled city is quite contemporary, still has a bit of a vintage feel, feels like maybe the 60s or 70s in like a quaint British town, but then the outside of that in the free magic place is more like your typical high fantasy. And it actually, you know, reminds me of the dungeons and RPG games with the way that the setting is described and the monsters are described in here. It also has a little bit of Kings of the Wild for me in the like adventure style story, like the narrative structure of this, which is another book that I really thought I was going to love and ended up DNFing. So ultimately, if you like your stories that are told, I guess, in a kind of similar way to Howl's Moving Castle, if you like the Demon Cycle by Peter V. Brett, if you like the Babel book, what's it called? Yeah, Suddenly Ascends by Josiah Bancroft, if there's something about Earthsea that is interesting to you, for the love of God, could you tell me what it is? Because I don't have a clue. But I'm happy for you if that is you. Then yeah, the Old Kingdom series might be for you, but sadly it isn't for me. So that was a failure, but at least we've cleared through a whole series that was sitting on my shelves, and I now know that I can unhaul these because they were not a good time. So thank you guys for watching. If you've made it this far, I do hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry that the video was a little bit of a fail, and next week I'm going to be reading some paranormal romance. So, well, this week I'm already reading it. I'm already part of the way through one of the books, but you guys will be seeing that next week. So yeah, I do hope you've enjoyed it if you've made it this far. If you have, please don't forget to like if you liked it and subscribe if you wanna, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.